What's up everyone, this is eFlex and welcome back to another A Producer's Approach video. In this video we'll be looking at She's song Easy Action. So basically, if you guys haven't seen these videos, I have a basic structure. So I have an intro and personal backstory section. Then after that I have a breakdown and analysis kind of section. And then after that I have an outro section where I kind of just wrap up my thoughts and opinions on the song. So basically this is the song She Easy Action, and basically this song I listened to quite a bit back in 2015. When this song first came out, I had the song on loop quite a bit because the song was so short and so upbeat. It was really easy to listen to on loop, and you know, for such a short song, there's quite a bit of sounds compacted into this one song. I don't know if it's because it's only 2 minutes, but there's quite a few different sounds, leads, melodies kind of playing within the song. So bear with me as I try and analyze the song. And you know, for me, it's kind of nice listening to the song in a little bit different of a perspective, because normally when I listen to the song, I'm just kind of happily enjoying the upbeatness of this song. But you know, analyzing the song, I'll be hearing a few different sounds like I don't normally pay attention to myself. So that's definitely going to be something interesting to note. And overall, this is just one of those songs I come back to Xketo for, just to listen to, you know, just to find an upbeat electro song every once in a while. So this is definitely a song to listen to if you guys haven't checked out. She has some other songs, but the one I like the most is Easy Action. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll dive into the song Easy Action now, and this is She's song Easy Action. Let's get started. Just right off the bat, you really get like that 8-bit game type feel from the song. Basically, there's like a kind of that kick that kind of comes in, almost like a more 8-bit-ish type kick, and then you kind of have a lot of like chip tune, almost like sounds kind of playing right off the bat, playing like an ARP with some like slight vocal chops kind of mixed in there. But I really like that 8-bit kind of start to this video. It's really cool. It gives like the tone of the song as more of an 8-bit vibe, and kind of just sets the whole tone of what the song is going to be. So definitely really cool intro there, and it starts pretty much right off the bat. Like there's no kind of pad intro section, kind of like, you know, a more deadmau5 song where it's like kind of a more progressive build up and like adding pads and different chords. No, this song just goes straight into it. So let's get back into the song now. Alright, so that was actually kind of the break and build up. It kind of has the kind of vocal part saying "don't stop," and like that's kind of slowly fading up, as well as kind of the chord progression, as well as kind of a more electronic sound, kind of like the leadish kind of sound, kind of just building up. There's like a white noise sweep. There was no percussion building up to this section, so I guess because this song is so short, everything is pretty much going really fast, so there's no real need for a percussion buildup. It just kind of has kind of a really short section where it's the break and the build up too, because it's just going to go straight into it. So we'll get back into the song and you guys can see how it just goes straight into it. All right, so as you can tell, from the build up into the drop, there's kind of like a breath of air where they say easy action, kind of that vocal sample, and then it goes into the drop. So a traditional kind of 4/4 rhythm with a kick, snare, hi-hat kind of playing in that sequential order. You have the kind of bass chords kind of playing, and that's kind of the main emphasis on this part. Kind of upbeat, high energy, kind of sounds like a saw wave kind of like instrument used for the chords. And then what I never noticed was like the complextro kind of sampled bits added in there. You kind of hear the do 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 kind of arp, and then there's like a vocal sample, and then there's like a chordal vocal sample, which is really interesting. I actually never noticed that in the past, and I thought I was unique with adding a kind of chord kind of sample of a choir in my song Lost Without You, but this song actually did it first in 2015, so that makes me think that's maybe where I got the inspiration to add like a choir kind of in a complexo section into a song. So I had never noticed that before until now, so that's really cool within that section. And then there are kind of different transitionary gaps between certain sections within this drop, so that's pretty cool as well. Kind of gives some breath of air and different transitions and adds to the flow of the song. And then the different white noise kind of sweepers coming in and out. But overall, I kind of like those little accented notes. It kind of is like a calm response with the do 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 do, and then the kind of like choir and different audio samples kind of thrown in there. So that's really cool. Definitely adds to that upbeat kind of feel that the song has. So let's keep going. Alright, so it's really cool. You have the vocal sample saying all day, up all day, which is really cool. I really like that vocal sample used in this section. And then you notice there's kind of like some percussion kind of playing for a little bit while that sample's playing, and it kind of, the sounds are volume automated down and they're slowly rising up. And then slowly the percussion kind of comes out, and then kind of the vocal sample hook kind of comes back in, but then kind of harmonizes with the vocal sample where they say up all day. So they kind of, harmonize with each other. So it almost acts like a calm response, this kind of duet type thing before the drop. And then there's kind of a white noise kind of sweep, but there's no percussion buildup again, which is really interesting. And it's just going to build up, and then I believe there's going to be like a gap of space, and then it'll kind of just go into the second drop. I believe it's the second drop. So we'll just listen here and see what it'll be like. So it's really cool. There's like a lead sound now kind of playing. Almost sounds like a distorted guitar in some sense. You hear the activity in the bass line. There's a lot of glitching and different audio effects happening down the bottom to give way more activity and flow into this kind of drop section, because there's like glitching, so that kind of adds to the flow, like momentum and flow of this drop. And then you have the vocal chops kind of coming in, and then you have little kind of arps playing in the background, and I almost heard kind of like a vocal almost reversed way back in the background, but I'm not sure if that was just my ears or if that's actually in the song. But I kind of heard kind of like a reverse almost vocal kind of in this section, somewhere hidden in underneath some of the sounds. It's like a foreground sound, so it's definitely really cool. But I like a lot of the glitching in the bass effects and just kind of the switch in kind of a more energetic feel this time, because you had the lead and more of the glitching kind of in the bass sound. So that's really cool. Like you get even more like upbeat kind of flow from this drop section, which is good. That's what is so awesome about this song, is definitely the upbeat flow. So let's get back into the song. Alright, so in that section, I believe that's pretty much the end of the drop. That's like the second part of the drop section. I did notice like when the vocal comes in saying, "I'll show you what I got," there kind of is kind of a reverb, kind of delayed section where there's a little more emphasis on the got maybe word. It sounds like there's like a little emphasis at the end of that word, almost like a reverb tail or some type of audio effect. But I like how that kind of is a calm response, that vocal sample with kind of the lead playing as well. They can almost like calm respond to each other, which is really cool. Like most complextro songs, a lot of the different sounds that play along with the lead or just different audio samples placed within the song are all heavily based on a lot of calm response techniques and tropes. So that's really cool to kind of hear that. In this song, it's kind of paired with the lead a little bit more than different audio samples, but it's really cool to hear that calm response really play into the effect of the flow and the upbeatness of this song. So that's definitely really cool. So I believe this part's the outro. Kind of the breakdown into the outro is really cool, kind of stops the percussion and then has like a nice kind of padish breakdown, and then you kind of hear effect go whirr, which is really cool, kind of whines a little bit. So we'll listen to the outro now and we'll talk more about it after the outro is finished. Alright, so I like how it kind of transitioned from kind of the second drop into the outro. There was kind of some different vocal chops saying easy action thrown in there. There was a little bit of like a lead and just kind of the continuation of the percussion from that drop, just a little scaled back a little bit. But and then the outro was pretty similar to how the song introed, with the vocal chop and the more kind of 8-bit percussion rather than the more kind of electronic percussion used in the drop sections. And I just like the use of the vocal chops in the song. Definitely really cool how they incorporated, you know, with the intro and the outro, kind of, even though they kind of use the same similar intro and outro, like the vocal chops and the flow overall, it didn't really take away from anything at all. It's pretty much like 2 minutes and 22 seconds of like pure like energy, if I were to describe it in my best way. So overall, that is She's song, Easy Action. Again, just from listening to the song, the upbeatness and flow from the song is amazing. The use of the vocal samples integrated with a lot of the different sounds within the song, like the calm response with the lead, with the vocal samples and the different audio samples are really cool. The use of the choir as kind of like a one shot in the complextro kind of drop, which is really cool. I never noticed that before, so that's a really nice addition to note with this song. And overall, this is probably my favorite song from She, and I hope you could see why, because literally from the get-go, like, it just starts going, and this song reminds me a lot of like a video game song. Like, you would hear this in like a video game soundtrack as a more kind of 8-bit kind of feel for this song, in terms of like kind of a mix of like 8-bit and electro and complextro. So it's really cool. Overall, it's a really great song. Sometimes I wish the song was a little bit longer than 2 minutes and 22 seconds, but you know, for the 2 minutes and 22 seconds that it is, like, it gets the job done. And this is probably the first song where it's had the shortest break section and no percussion really building up to the drop section, which is quite amazing to me because most songs have some type of percussion leading up to like a build up into the drop section, but this song had none other than just like a white noise sweep. So that's really cool. Definitely will take away from that in the future, and maybe I might do that as well, and we'll see hopefully in future songs if I do that. But if you guys like this video, you know, like and subscribe if you feel like it. If you dislike this video, feel free to comment down below whether you like or dislike the video. And I hope you guys enjoy these videos and you take away something from these videos. I know I'm not the most knowledgeable person, but you know, I hope my analysis in some way depicts a few sounds maybe you didn't hear from listening to the song, or I introduce you to an artist you never heard of before. So overall, I hope you guys have a good one. Peace.